On this week's episode of BJ in the Morning, we're going to talk about The Legend of Zelda. So you better... Welcome to BJ in the Morning. I'm Juan.
And I'm Brendan.
And on this week's episode, we're talking about The Legend of Zelda.
But most specifically, the convoluted timeline that is The Legend
of Zelda. And on this episode, I'm going to let Brendan do most of the talking. Because, again, I am slightly under the weather. Again.
And...
Yeah?
You don't play video games that much.
I do. So, I've played some of the Legend of Zelda games all the way through. Mm-hmm. And when I say some, I mean as a child, I played A Link to the Past.
Great game.
Ocarina of Time.
Great game.
Majora's Mask.
Mm-hmm. Great game.
And Twilight Princess.
Okay, I've never played that one.
Those are the only ones I played all the way through. And I'm about 1/16 of a way through Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just keep getting lost. You know, they let you just wander too much. Mm-hmm. Which to some people is not too much. But with my ADD ass, I'll be out in the mountains for no fucking reason. Doing nothing.
Yeah, just fighting.
For like 3 hours.
Fighting the goblins and whatnot. Yeah.
And then next thing I know, it's been 3 hours. I'm like, oh, time to put it up. Put it up.
Yeah. I think I got that way with Tears of the Kingdom. I got lost in the underground world. I got lost bad. I'm like stuck in some caverns and like can't find my way out. And I just kind of stopped playing after that, which is really unfortunate because I love that game. And Breath of the Wild, I put like almost 200 hours into. So.
You know what really gets me off track is you hear the shrine beeping and you try to follow it and then it's like beeping like hardcore and I'm at the top of this mountain. I'm like, where is it?
It's under the mountain.
Ugh, I hate it.
It's just how it goes, man.
Yeah, I know.
I realized that while we were sitting here, right when I hit record, I looked over at you and what's on the wall over there?
A shield?
Yeah, which one?
The shield of Hyrule?
Yeah, it is. It is that one.
You want me to grab it?
You don't have to, but I feel like it's like kind of an important set piece that is just left off to the side.
I'll grab it.
But while you're doing that, I'm gonna start.
I'll grab it.
I'm gonna start talking about the history of The Legend of Zelda. You also have that, which should be over here as well.
So I brought these. I don't know if you can hear me, but
here you go. You're getting closer to the mic.
I brought these in here so we can hang them.
Mm-hmm. But this would have been the episode that we hung them up for, right? I don't know. Was that the chain on the back?
Yeah. How's that?
It looks beautiful. How about you guys at home? How do you feel about it?
What do you think about our?
We'll wait. Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Put it down in the comments.
So there's a lot to the history of the Zelda games. The Legend of Zelda, where you play as the hero, commonly known as Link.
Zelda.
No, Link.
I'm just kidding.
Piss off a lot of people in the comments. Anyways, the reason I wanted to get into this is because I started playing some of the old Legend of Zelda games recently, just to kind of relive some childhood memories. The first video game I remember playing, like vividly, is Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, which was on Super Nintendo.
Yep.
I still can picture my bedroom as a kid, where I was sitting on the floor in front of my, I say big ass TV, but it wasn't a big TV. It was just a big TV. You know what I'm saying? One of those big boxes.
Oh, like it was like the old like a 12-inch TV?
Probably something like that. Full screen, you know.
With that VHS in it?
Probably.
Yeah.
We all had those TVs. in the 90s and early 2000s. But I also remember playing a lot of Ocarina of Time as a kid.
Mm-hmm. On the N64.
Yeah. Also, I off topic slightly. I beat Star Fox 64 the other day for the first time since I was a kid.
Nice.
That game's short as heck.
It's short?
Yeah.
Is it good, though?
It's fun.
Yeah?
Yeah. The controls on the Switch compared to the N64, though, not so good. Which was a lot of the issues I was having with Ocarina of Time as I was playing it recently as well.
Yeah.
Well,
it's also not like remastered for the Switch, too, right?
Right. It's just like emulated over.
Yeah.
So. But anyways, we're off track a little tiny bit here. Let me pull up my ridiculous notes.
A little bit?
Yeah, dude, I got you. I'll turn up your headphones a little bit.
Thanks, dude. Not mute. There we go.
So, the Legend of Zelda timeline. The reason I want to bring this up is because I feel like most people, including you, don't know where games fall in the timeline.
Right.
What do you think the first game is? In the timeline.
In the timeline?
Chronologically, yeah.
Are we including like the DS games and the
all of the canon games? So we'll get into the canon games. There's some some non-canon games like Link's crossbow training on the Wii, things like that. Hyrule Warriors, not canon, but most games are canon. They do exist on the timeline.
So the first one on the timeline would be Wind Waker.
Incorrect. Let's get into this. So the Legend of Zelda series. Also, this is mostly my research. I did have to consult like Wikipedia, things like that for information, but also the Hyrule Historia, which is an actual book. But the biggest like little asterisk to this is that Nintendo has changed the timeline in the past.
Okay.
They have changed it from what it was to what it is now, and it can happen again because Nintendo only made the timeline to satisfy fans.
Okay.
You ready for that? Sweet. So the Hyrule Historia book, which a lot of this information comes from, the timeline splits into 3 distinct branches following the events of Ocarina of Time. So let's get into the unified timeline, which is what happens before the split. So the first game, the earliest game chronologically, tells the origin story of the Master Sword. So Link, who is a knight in training at the time, must rescue Zelda from the Demon King demise. This game is The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword.
Skyward Sword, that was on the Wii?
I believe so, and it's been remastered for the Switch.
Okay.
This is another one I didn't...
that's the first one in the timeline?
Chronologically, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So it tells how the Master Sword became the Master Sword.
Got it.
Yeah, dude.
Never played that one.
Me neither, because I didn't really have a Wii. So I had to
I know my brother and my dad played it, but I did not.
Yeah, I feel like I need to then, know, if it's the first one in the timeline.
In the timeline.
But the significance of this game is that it establishes the eternal struggle between the spirit of the hero and the forces of darkness. So, what the spirit of the hero is and what the darkness is, we know the villain in most of the games is who? Ganondorf, things like that, right?
Yeah.
We know it later on as Calamity Ganon. Earlier, Ganon, pig form, Ganondorf, things like that, right?
Yeah.
But he's also taken on many different forms, like Demise in the first game. Because it's not Ganon all the time. It's just more of
like an evil entity.
Just like the hero is not always Link. Because the way that everything's set up in The Legend of Zelda is that there was a curse placed on basically before it was created, the Triforce, right? So there was a curse placed on the world where it cursed Link, or his essence, right, his being, to be the hero who must always save who?
Zelda.
From?
Ganon.
Right, 3. So no matter what, all throughout time, no matter who it is, what it is, how it's going to happen, those 3 are a staple in this world.
Like Mario, Peach, and Bowser.
Right, kind of. That's
Are they part of the?
No, but that's how like Nintendo's thing, right?
Yeah.
But so yeah, there's a curse that goes on forever.
Right.
That the spirit of the hero will always take the form of a boy, saving Zelda, who is a descendant of Hylia, who is the goddess of Hyrule, right? The main god, and then the evil Ganon / demise in this one. That's all this is established right here.
Yeah.
But there's also like some fucking sages and like they get turned into the that's coming up though. You ready for this? What's the second game in the series here, Juan?
Twilight Princess.
Wrong.
Ugh.
The Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap, which I believe was on Game Boy.
I don't know that one.
So in this one, I didn't play this one. Link teams up with a magical talking hat named Eslo to defeat the evil sorcerer Vati, who turns Princess Zelda to stone. Actually, I did play this one a little bit. I don't think I ever beat it. The significance, though, is it explores the origin of the four swords and introduces the Minish, a tiny race of people.
All right.
What's the next one in the story? Because the hardest part of this is that some of these games we haven't played.
Yeah.
Some of them we have. But this next one is like direct next game. So the next one is say it with me. The Legend of Zelda. Four Swords.
Four Swords.
There you go. Nailed it, dude. So the story of this is Vati returns and kidnaps Princess Zelda. Shocker. Link uses the four swords to split into four versions of himself to defeat Vati.
It's like a red, a blue, a green.
Yeah,
and,
you've seen it, right?
Yeah.
You've seen it. Game Boy Advance, I want to say.
Something like that.
This was the first multiplayer Legend of Zelda game, and it continues the story of Vati, which is pretty important. But the next one in the timeline is super important because the next one is, say it with me, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I nailed it. So this being one of the games we have played a lot, probably. Like I said, I've been playing Majora's Mask lately, which we'll get into. I haven't gone back to Ocarina because I know I beat Ocarina as a kid. Majora's Mask, never beat that shit as a kid.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to now before I go to Ocarina.
Sure.
But now I'm kind of feeling like we should just hop on YouTube Live sometime and just start going through some old Zelda games if we can figure that out.
Yeah.
In timeline order.
Yeah.
Could be wild. Tell us what you think in the comments. We'll wait. Awesome. Thanks.
So,
so Ocarina of Time. Bless
right.
you.
Thank you.
You were going to say something?
Oh, no, I forgot.
So, what happens in the Ocarina of Time? Do you remember?
Okay, so you're a kid, right?
Yeah.
You wake up in your little village. I remember that.
Yeah, Kokiri Village, right?
Kukuri?
Kukuru.
Kukuri?
Kukuru.
Kukuru?
No, I'm just kidding.
And you have to go on a quest, right? I think you have to go to it's been a very long time. I think you have to go to the Temple of Time to... Is it to prevent something? To prevent calamity?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
just kidding. Just kidding. So, in this one,
Okay,
Link
got
travels between childhood and adulthood to stop Ganondorf from obtaining the Triforce and taking over Hyrule.
Got it.
So, this is the pivotal game that causes the timeline to split into three distinct branches.
Is where it... Because of the Ocarina of Time. You're creating three different timelines, a.k.a. Triforce.
Oh.
So, I'm actually surprised I remembered as much as I did.
Yeah, no, you're doing great. You're doing great. So let's break down, since Ocarina of Time is so pivotal to the story of Zelda, we're going to break it down just a little bit. For all you guys who don't know how much I love the Legend of Zelda series, it's a lot. So let me refer to my notes here. So where does the story take place? It takes place in Hyrule, right? We know that. There's tons of people in Hyrule, right? The Hylians, Gorons, Zoras, Gerudo. This story revolves around the Triforce, which is a sacred relic divided into 3 parts representing, do you remember? What are the 3 parts of the Triforce?
Good.
No.
Evil.
No. Okay, you ready? Say it with me. Power. Wisdom. Courage. Does it sound familiar now?
Yeah.
So,
good.
Link.
Evil.
Good.
Good.
So Link is a young boy living in Kokiri Forest,
and
is summoned by the great Deku tree. Do you remember the tree with the mustache? Everyone's
like,
you know, he makes that sound. The tree is cursed by an evil sorcerer, and after Link defeats the creature inside, the tree tells him about the destiny that awaits him. Link must prevent Ganondorf, the king of the Gerudo, from obtaining the Triforce and plunging Hyrule into darkness. So, you remember you said that you travel between Kid Link, Adult Link, things like that. So, as a child, you must obtain the spiritual stones. So, the Kokiri's Emerald, after saving the Deku tree, you get the stone. The Goron's Ruby, Zora's Sapphire. So, 3, right? Yeah, so you get all those.
You make the Goron do the little dance.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. But you also get the Master Sword.
I used to make the Goron dance like 10,000 times.
Just cuz, right?
Yeah, you would play your little song and you'd be like, duh, 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 duh.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. Like, again.
Do it again. Dude, playing games as a kid was so much more fun than playing it as an adult.
Yeah,
because you would just be like, I'm going to find this little place and this is my camp.
Yeah,
like,
this is where I'm going to be.
This is where I live now. But you also find the Master Sword and time travel as a kid. So with the 3 spiritual stones, Link opens the door of time in the Temple of Time and pulls the Master Sword from its pedestal. This action transports him 7 years into the future. And then Adult Link. So you defeat the temples, or the sages' temples. So the Forest Temple, Fire Temple, fuck the Water Temple, and the Shadow Temple, and the Spirit Temple. And then you take on Ganon with the help of Zelda and the power of the sages. And you defeat Ganon, and you seal him in the sacred realm. Then Zelda, after everything, uses the Ocarina of Time to send Link back to his childhood, allowing him to relive his lost years. And this is where the timeline splits. That's where you go, dun, dun, dun. Let me say it again. This is where the timeline splits.
Dun, dun, dun.
So the child timeline, Link warns Zelda of Ganondorf's plans, leading to his eventual arrest and execution. Adult timeline, Hyrule remains in the state of decline without Link, leading to the events of the next game. And then one where Link dies fighting Ganon. Yeah. So there's one where he goes back and just is chill, lives his life.
Yep.
There's one where he doesn't do anything, or he warns Zelda. And then there's one where he dies in the fight with Ganon.
Okay.
3 timelines.
Okay.
Ready? So the significance of this is that a lot of things were introduced from this game into the series, like the Master Sword, Ganondorf, and time travel, which plays a huge role in a lot of games going forward. Those 3 specific things, but a lot of it is time travel, right? Are you good?
I'm just...
I know I'm giving you a lot of info here.
I'm following. So one of them's got to be all the other games where he's still a kid, right?
Yeah.
Like Wind Waker.
Maybe.
Like all those other side quest games per se, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Kind of.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So that's one timeline.
And then the next timeline, this is my guess, is Majora's Mask.
For which one?
Adult Link.
Okay.
Okay. Majora's Mask. Breath of the Wild. The other one.
Yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom. And Twilight Princess.
You could not be more wrong.
Ah, really?
Yeah, really. So let's get in the split. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with Link goes back and he restarts his life.
His life.
Yep.
So sent back to childhood. So the first game in this branching timeline is The Legend of Zelda. Say it with me. Majora's Mask.
What?
So you remember?
Is he a kid in that game?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that.
So if you remember, in Ocarina of Time, at the beginning, he doesn't have a fairy. He gets a fairy named Navi.
Navi, yep.
Right? So Navi is there just to help him defeat Ganon. But if he defeats Ganon, goes back in time as his childhood person, with all his memories and everything like that, who does not come to his aid?
Navi.
Because there's no Ganon to fight.
He don't need her.
She doesn't need him.
She doesn't need him.
Right? So, in Majora's Mask, at the beginning of it, Link leaves after telling about like Ganon, blah, blah, blah. He's a bad guy, blah, blah, blah. And he's off to find Navi because he needs her. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't find her. You know who he finds? The Skull Kid. Wearing Majora's Mask. Right?
Right.
So, the story of this one is that Link searches for his lost friend Navi and ends up in a parallel world of Termina, where he must prevent the moon from crashing into the world. You have 3 days. You have to learn the Song of Time, Song of Healing, all that kind of stuff to just kind of keep going those 3 days.
Yeah.
And you have to relive the events every single 3-day period to finish the game.
I don't remember this.
No?
I don't remember this at all.
And you played Majora's Mask?
Yeah.
Did you ever get out of the town?
So I feel like the two games are meshing together in my memory.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing I can vividly remember from Majora's Mask is you would put on a mask and you would like get powers.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
You get a bunch of different masks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
So
I remember you used to shoot shit out of your elbows.
So you do get you become like the Deku kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're like wooden at the first, and then you learn how to take the mask off and get your hero's form back, which is how you get out of the town of Termina into the world, the overworld, things like that. So yeah, Link's quest here is basically dealing with Clocktown, which is the town in the middle, where you arrive there. It's the central hub of Termina, and he learns of the moon coming down and crashing to the earth because of the Skull Kid's magic, things like that. So Link uses the Ocarina of Time to manipulate time, resetting the 3-day cycle as needed to solve all the puzzles and complete all the quests. There's a bunch of temples you have to go through, but the final confrontation is with the moon itself and Majora's Mask. So once you get all the giants, you confront the Skull Kid on top of the clock tower, and then you fight inside the moon. But with that, you really are just dealing with this game and its your unique elements and themes and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's got the 3-day cycle, which is central to its gameplay. So you really got to focus on the 3 days. 3 days are super important because if you run out of time, then what happens? The moon crashes and
moon crashes,
and then the
ginseng and
the honey and the nutmeg and
the
but also the mask. So the masks play a bunch of different roles. So there's the Deku mask, which is you go back into the form of the Deku kid, technically, the wooden kid who can shoot beans out of his mouth and fly with the flowers and everything. The Goron mask, Zora mask, and the Fierce Deities mask. This game is super dark though because it deals with a lot of societal problems in this world. You can meet a lot of different people in this game, and they have a lot of things to say. And it's kind of wild as an adult playing it.
Yeah.
Learning some of the things they talk about. but it's just super, like, this game is really celebrated for its uniqueness, right? It's completely different than a lot of the other Zelda games. So it's got super deep storytelling because you can interact with so many different people and learn their backstories and how they interact with each other. People do have schedules in this game, and you have to learn them to finish some puzzles. And it's just it's got a lot of like interesting gameplay mechanics, like the 3-day time limit, things like that. So
right.
So yeah, the next game in this going forward is
As
one
a kid.
So I was sent to childhood, Majora's Mask, and then the next one is Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess.
Twilight Princess.
It's another one I didn't play because it was on the Wii, right? Or
GameCube.
The GameCube?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a GameCube either, so these are the problems.
GameCube.
So basic story on this one, because I don't know a lot about it. Link transforms into a wolf and teams up with Midna to stop Zant and the revived Ganondorf from conquering Hyrule. So the significance of this game is it combines traditional Zelda gameplay with the ability to transform into a wolf and explore themes of light and dark. Then
that one was cool because you can like follow trails in your wolf form.
Yeah.
And it'll help you find where you need to go.
This is one I need to play then.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I didn't have a GameCube, didn't have a Wii, so I didn't play Wind Waker, I didn't play Twilight Princess, I didn't play Skyward Sword.
It's okay.
There was another one I didn't play.
Wind Waker was on the DS.
No, it was on GameCube.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure. If it was on DS, I would have played it. I friggin' played 5 minutes of Spirit Tracks. I know what I'm talking about.
I feel like we should look it up.
If you'd like to. But this is the last game. Oh, we haven't talked about Wind Waker yet, so I'm going to go to the last game in the adult timeline so far. You ready?
Go ahead.
So this is The Legend of Zelda 4 Swords Adventures.
This is as a child.
As a child. I said adult, huh? Because that's the next one we're going to talk about. 4 Swords Adventures. So Link battles Ganon and Vati after being split into 4 by the 4 sword one more time.
It was on the GameCube.
Yeah, no, I know.
Go ahead.
It's okay. So yeah, another 4 Swords Adventure.
All right.
I don't know anything about the 4 Swords Adventure. I didn't play it.
But why would we need another one?
I don't know. Do you want me to like look up some info on it?
No, it's okay. So we're still on our path of the child.
Yeah, that's the last one in the child timeline. If Link went back and just lived his life from a child and didn't have a fairy, didn't go fight Ganon at that moment, other things happened, right?
So now,
what do you want to do
now? Link's adulthood,
adult life.
Yeah.
Cool. Let me get back to it. I should have organized this a little bit more. Sweet. There's only a couple games in this one. So, adult timeline. Link defeats Ganon. Zelda sends him back. He lives his life. Doesn't warn them about Ganon. So, the events of the Ocarina of Time will happen. All that. Blah, blah, blah. So, the first game in this series is The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker.
Okay.
So, in a flooded Hyrule, Link must rescue his sister and stop Ganondorf from obtaining the Triforce and taking over the world.
Who is his sister?
I don't know. I didn't play this one. All I know is that Link goes off after Ocarina of Time in this timeline, lives his life, dies, like old age, just whatever.
Done.
And then I think it's like hundreds of years, thousands of years, something like that. The witches flood the land because Ganon is around, and like, there's no hero because Link died of old age, happy life, whatever. So they flood the world to make sure that he can't take over it. And then hundreds of years later, another Link appears, like, down the, what's the word I'm looking for?
Down the road?
No, like the genes and ancestor kind of thing.
Ancestry?
Yeah. The family tree.
Family
I don't know.
tree.
I don't know what word I'm trying to say.
Family tree sounds right.
So he comes in and it's basically everything that's ever happened in a Legend of Zelda game, except the world's flooded. And this one's got a different art style than the rest of them, right? It's all cartoony, cel-shaded.
Yeah.
And you're sailing.
Yeah.
A lot, because the world's been flooded.
Right.
So that's that one. Don't know who Link's sister is. Never met her.
Never matter.
But the next one, and again, a lot of these aren't direct sequels to each other. They take place years apart when someone else on this cursed timeline steps into the hero role, who always kind of looks like Link.
Has been born.
Yeah. But this one, Phantom Hourglass, is a direct sequel to Wind Waker.
Okay.
So Link and Tetra, Zelda, seek a new land, but get involved in a quest involving the Ocean King. So this one uses a lot of, I guess it used touch controls and continues the story of the Wind Waker. So what used touch controls? The DS? I'm pretty sure it was the DS.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then the next one, which I have played, like I said, 5-10 minutes of, and I didn't get it. Stopped playing it.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably more than that. But it's The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks.
Spirit Tracks.
Link's obsessed with trains.
I never heard of this one.
So this is set generations after the Wind Waker. A new Link and Zelda must stop an evil chancellor from resurrecting the Demon King Maladus. And this introduced a train-based travel system and cooperative gameplay with Zelda as a spirit.
Oh.
There's trains and train tracks, and you build them. And that's the last of the adult timeline.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So now we're going to go to the decline timeline, or the one where Link is defeated by Ganondorf in Ocarina. So the first game after this is, say it with me, The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. So Link must rescue the descendants of the Seven Sages and defeat Ganon, who has been resurrected in the Dark World. So this introduces the Master Sword officially, is this game. But it's also introducing the concept of parallel worlds with the Light World, the Dark World. And you got to think this game came out in like 1992.
Yeah. Wild.
It's crazy. This is my favorite Zelda game. I have the pendants and the Master Sword tattooed on me. This.
I see it. I saw it.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it.
I can still, like, even if I haven't, like, I've been playing it again lately, but the music that kicks on in the home screen, like right before you press start, just always in my head. The dungeon music, solid. And I just love that game. I know the map so well that there have been times lately when I'm playing it, I'm like, oh, I need that thing, and I just run straight over to it through the puzzle without even actually struggling. Boss fights were pretty tricky in that game. I'm not gonna lie, they're still tricky. But Link to the Past, right there for you. The Light World, the Dark World. Currently, I just entered the Dark World after trying to save Zelda for the first time, and now I'm in the second half of the game.
Scowy.
It's pretty fun.
Scowy.
The next one in the series here is The Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Sages, and Oracle of Seasons.
2 games?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Back to back or simultaneously?
Simultaneous. So you know how like Pokemon release like red, yellow, blue, green, or whatever?
Yeah. Diamond.
That kind of shit.
Right. All right.
So Link is summoned to the lands of Labrina and Holodrum to rescue the oracles and prevent the resurrection of Ganon. So both stories are interconnected with unique gameplay elements like time travel and changing seasons.
So this one is like a direct prequel to Breath of the Wild.
Kind of, but not really.
Because I feel like this is the story they tell when they're trying to restore Link's memories.
I'll get there.
Okay.
Probably.
Right.
So, next game on the list, because I never played those ones either. They were on the Game Boy Advance. And I just wasn't. I didn't know there was Zelda games on the Game Boy Advance when I had a Game Boy Advance as a kid.
Yeah.
Except for the next one on the list, which is The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening.
Link's Awakening.
So, after being shipwrecked, Link finds himself on an island and must awaken the windfish to escape. This game got a remake recently. It's pretty cute, pretty adorable. The newest Legend of Zelda game that's coming out has the same art style as the remake of this game.
Mm-hmm.
This game is all a dream. It doesn't matter.
Whoa.
There's elements of Mario in this game, like the chain chomps. There's Mario and Luigi in the game. You can see them kind of. But this game takes place entirely outside of Hyrule and is a dream state narrative. So it all takes place in a dream. So if you beat the game, you erase all of the human or all of the beings that live on this island because it's a dream, and you wake up and then they're all gone. Does it need to be there?
No.
I don't know. It's a fun game. The next one is a game that I legit forgot existed.
Uh-huh.
And that's The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds.
Okay.
So this is set in the same world as A Link to the Past. Link must save Hyrule and the parallel world of Hyrule.
Got it.
From Yuga and Hilda. So you can, in this game, merge into walls. Like you become like art on walls, technically. And that's how you like finish a lot of puzzles and stuff.
Huh.
It's pretty weird. I never played it. I legit forgot it existed.
I never heard of it.
The next one.
Honest.
Yeah, no, it's out there, right?
Yeah.
The next one is Triforce Heroes. So Link teams up with 2 other heroes to save the kingdom of Hytopia from a fashion-related curse.
Fashion?
Yeah. So it emphasizes multiplayer and has a lighthearted tone. So it's honestly like if Link went to fashion school and like RuPaul was in charge. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's that game.
Got it.
You're making clothes.
Huh?
Yeah.
Making clothes.
Yeah, you do clothing things.
Clothing.
Clothing time. You know what I'm saying?
Clothing. Yeah.
The next one. Are you ready?
Huh?
The Legend of Zelda.
Legend of Zelda.
The Legend of Zelda. The very first one on the NES.
Oh.
We just got to it.
The Legend to Zelda.
The Legend of Zelda.
The Legend to Zelda.
So the original game where Link must gather the pieces of the Triforce of Wisdom to rescue Princess Zelda from Ganon. So everything in this game, since it's the first one, it was introduced here. Link, Ganon, the Triforce, and dungeons.
Yeah.
No dragons, just
Dungeons.
dungeons. What do you think the next game is?
The Legend of Zelda. Breath of the Wild.
No, Zelda 2. The Adventure of Link.
Oh.
Link must awaken Princess Zelda from a magical slumber by recovering the Triforce of Courage and stopping Ganon's followers. Ganon's got a cult. Princess Zelda's sleeping. This one, though, instead of that top-down view we were used to in the first one, is a side-scroller, more like Mario, because of the success of Mario. Have you ever played the first 2 Zelda games?
I'm not sure.
Meh.
Is A Link to the Past a top view game as well?
Yeah. Most Zelda games are, except for the newest ones.
So I'm not sure. I don't think I have.
And that's the last one in the timeline if Link failed.
So he dies in The Legend of Zelda?
Ocarina of Time. He dies. And then these are all different stories of different Links.
Right. Got it.
So then that gets us to the very last part of the timeline, which is the unification again after it was split. Are you ready?
Yes.
The Legend, say it with me. The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. We did it. We got here.
We got it.
So if you picture it, like here, hold your hand right here. just like a finger. So this is the first timeline that we were in, right? And then it was split into 3, right?
Yep.
And then it comes over here way down at the end and goes back into 1. One timeline. But it's way back here.
It's like a bicep muscle.
Sure.
You ever seen a bicep muscle? It looks like that. It looks like... yeah.
Picture it like Loki's branching timeline situation, you know? They're branches. Yeah. They branch off and they can come back, though.
Huh.
So they all come back together.
Got it.
Breath of the Wild is set in a post-apocalyptic Hyrule. Mm-hmm. So everything's gone. Hyrule's been destroyed. It's been gone for a long time. Thousands of years since the last couple games. Mm-hmm. Like in the 3. Thousands of years. But 100 years after that, Link must be awakened to defeat Calamity Ganon and restore peace to Hyrule. So this is an open world game. Right? It's one of the newer Legend of Zelda games. Non-linear gameplay, and it's got a ton of callbacks to all the other games. Mm-hmm. Maybe not all of them, but a lot of them, right?
Most.
The Temple of Time's there, things like that. And then the next game in the series, which is a direct sequel to Breath of the Wild, is The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom.
So it's the sequel, continuing Link's journey in a transformed Hyrule. That game's still pretty. I mean, it's been out for like a year or 2 now. Still pretty new. But the first one, you're fighting Calamity Ganon. You have to get all the divine beasts to help you out, which are from previous like gods and stuff of Hyrule, which are callbacks to a bunch of old games, things like that. And then in the next one, you have to fight Calamity Ganon again. But what you actually find out is that Ganon has been sealed underneath Hyrule. His body, his corpse, has been sealed underneath Hyrule, and it's the Ganon from like the Ocarina of Time era.
Oh,
I am pretty sure. This is me going based on one sentence I read and one video I watched, but it's like that Ganon from way back in the day who's been sealed underneath Hyrule for this entire time, and you and Zelda are trying to find him. Or trying to find where like the calamity's coming from. And you find the body, you find the corpse, and the seal breaks. And then Hyrule starts crumbling. And then the sky starts falling, but it's not really the sky. It's like all the people from Skyward Sword. Things like that, right? Like all those kind of things tying all together. And like Raru's in it, but Raru is also a different thing and different person altogether earlier in the series. It gets kind of crazy, man.
Yeah.
But like... now that we're through most of it, all of it, do we need an official timeline for a video game like this? Like, it is cool when it ties back to old games, but like, is it necessary to do all this and have all this and like, what?
No, I mean, it's cool to think about. It's cool to get into it, like for the people who are nerds about that stuff.
Yeah, us.
But I feel like these games stand alone so much that it's not necessary.
Yeah.
And it's successful without the timeline.
But again, that gets me thinking like what we mentioned at the top was like, I've never played them in chronological order. Some of these games I haven't played at all. And
it might make sense if you do.
But it also, who cares?
Right.
Because I love the ones that I've played.
Right.
Are there some I really want to play? Yeah, like Wind Waker, duh. I should play that. Twilight Princess, probably. Skyward Sword, what's stopping me?
Sure.
So maybe it's time.
It's time.
I think so. But The Legend of Zelda has always been one of those things for me personally. I remember writing my first short story as a kid, and it was centered around The Legend of Zelda.
Oh,
and nice. It's kind of what got me into wanting to make movies and like go to film school and like make stupid videos with us and our friends like in high school. Who
you calling stupid?
Me and you.
Just kidding. My brain fog is rapidly taking over.
I can tell, and that's why I'm kind of just leading the rest of this episode for us. Thank you for letting me nerd out for the last 45 minutes.
Yeah, of course.
But The Legend of Zelda has a huge place in my heart and my past. I want to show my kids all these games. I want to experience these kind of things with other people because it seems kind of silly for someone to love something so much. But I mean, is it silly just because it's a video game? There's a huge story going on here.
It's
like,
not silly.
You know what I mean? No, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
There's a huge story going on here that needs more unraveling, and I'm sure I could have done a lot more research on this. And I could have gave you a lot more insight to some of these games. But the fact of the matter is that there are 3 pieces to this puzzle, and it's Link, Zelda, Ganon, but it's also power, wisdom, courage. That's what brings it all together, right?
That's 6.
But they represent each other.
Right.
Right, so power, Ganon, courage, Link, wisdom, Zelda. Right? And what's the new Zelda game called? Do you remember?
No.
Me neither.
Legend of Zelda. Congrats, you get to play as Zelda.
I mean, that's a big deal.
Is that what it's called?
It's Echoes of Wisdom. So, you see what I'm saying? They're tying it all together now.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
But I think Nintendo's kind of seen as like the underdog when it comes to video games. Right? It's like people look at Nintendo and are like, those are kid games. Those are for kids.
How about you shut your mouth?
They don't get deep. They don't get existential.
Oh, they do.
They do. Have you played Majora's Mask?
Apparently not.
It's on Switch.
Yeah.
On the expansion thing, if you have it.
I don't.
You should get it. We'll talk about it later.
All right.
Or we're just gonna go through a bunch of Zelda games on the channel someday.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think.
Let us know and let it snow.
And if you're bored right now and you really just need a place to follow us on all social media apps.
Or if you're not bored.
If you're enjoying it. And you want to follow us on like Instagram or TikTok at
BJ in the morning _
or on YouTube at
BJ in the morning podcast,
where you should go ahead and slap that like button.
Slap it.
Smash that bell.
Smash it.
Downward / with your master sword that subscribe button.
Shit.
Thank you. That was so good. So you can get all of our latest videos. And again, thank you to everyone for letting me nerd out.
Yeah.
For almost an hour about The Legend of Zelda because it means a lot to me. And I've been going through all the old games again, and I'm just having a blast. I'm having such a good time.
It sounds like it, dude.
I'm taking the sword and the shield home with me.
No.
Damn.
Not allowed. I barely got it back.
I know, dude. Do you want to tell the story of that real fast? Just to call out your brother?
Okay. So we were like, what? 20?
Somewhere around there. We were living together.
21. We went to the fair.
Mm-hmm.
We went into this random like tent.
It was, yeah.
Like a
like
tent or side building. Yeah. And I saw this shield.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I want that.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? I bought that.
I want it. I bought it.
And then
that's the Ariana Grande song, right?
Got home. I want it. I don't remember.
Anyways.
So we get home, and my brother... No, I think I was still living at my parents' house.
Actually,
my brother said, I want that.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, no. You can't have that.
Yeah, and your brother was little at the time.
He was like 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, no. He's like, but I want it. And my mom goes, just let him like hang it in his room or something.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, but it's mine.
Yeah, right?
And she's like, Juan, you're a full grown-ass man. It's gonna be yours. Just let him hang it in his room.
Right.
And so I said, fine. I let him hang it in his room. And then when I moved out, not too long after that, he didn't give it back.
Mm-hmm.
Then I bought the Master Sword to go with my shield. And my brother said, I want that to match my shield.
Yeah.
And being the nice brother that I am, I gave it to him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I finally got it back because that SOB was going to get rid of it.
Yeah, no. When I heard that,
I don't want it anymore.
Uh-huh.
And he said, I don't know what he said it like verbatim, but to me it sounded like, I'm not a kid anymore. I don't want it.
Yeah. I'm going to throw it away.
And I said, no. No. You give that back to me. Do you not see this shit? I don't give a shit how old I am. This is never going in the trash.
And it's not like plastic.
Yeah,
it's pretty sturdy.
It's heavy too.
That sword would actually hurt.
Yeah, it's real.
It's a real sword. Wait.
Hey.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh shit. Just kidding. It's still.
But yeah, your brother tried to get rid of him, and you swooped in and saved the Master Sword. It was locked away for years.
It was. I had a.
But yeah, we love the Legend of Zelda around here. I think there's a lot of games that we need to play.
And you know what? Maybe I haven't played all the games, or
no, but I
don't know it as well. Or
the ones you've played,
yeah,
you love
it.
They're great. There's something for most people.
Yeah.
But shout out Nintendo for making a series that is a little darker than Mario Bros. And I hope if this Netflix series for Legend of Zelda goes ahead, that it's not trash.
I hope it's good.
Just let it be good.
Please. We're begging you.
We're begging.
Well, with that said, thank you for listening to BJ in the Morning. I'm Juan.
And I'm Brendan.
And I'm going to go blow my nose.
And we'll talk to you next time.